Hi everybody, my name is Robin and welcome to my channel Bird's Eye Stitches. This is a channel about cross stitch, so if you are new here then welcome. Hopefully you are here because you have a love of cross stitch like I do. And if you are returning then still welcome. Clearly you are here because you have a love of cross stitch like I do. Today is Sunday, it is October 20th. I have my dog Squatch here with me just for a moment. I've had a couple people message and ask, I think the last time I showed Squatch, she was a teeny tiny little puppy, and now she's a full-grown 12-pound ball of fury. So, let's see if she wants to be on camera. Say hello, Squatchers. Yeah, say hello. Who's that? Yes, I know. Thank you. I love you too. But look over here. Look at these guys. Maybe, maybe not. She has no interest in being on camera. She only has interest in being in whatever room I am in or whatever room my husband or daughter are in. So currently my husband is actually making dinner. So she smells the chili and all the things going on in the kitchen. So I'm going to release her back to the kitchen, but figured she could at least say hi. So, all right, here we go. Say bye, Squatchers. Yeah, I know. Be right back. All right, be good. Okay, the hound has been released. She went straight on into the kitchen. So anyway, that is Squatch. She is now a full-grown teenager, child, I don't know, around a year old already, which is crazy. So that's the dog. Okay, beyond Squatch, I had a couple other comments and whatnot from my last video. I wrote some of those ones down. So I had a question from Hilltop Stitching. They wanted to know that how I would be stitching my dimensions kit that I found at the Goodwill Chickadees. In fact, it's right here. So this is the dimensions kit that I picked up at our local Goodwill, and an amazing find that I will be starting in the month of November. So I'll be starting this one next month. So she wanted to know how I normally stitch. So for me, I kind of do a mix. Basically, I like to start in one block and I stitch everything within that block in one color of thread. And then if I can accurately count, as in if it's not super far away, I will use that same thread until I finish my, the one piece of thread that I pulled. So I will normally pull some thread and snip it, and then I will keep stitching in that one color until I've used all of those like 6 strands, right? Once that's done, then I move on to the next color. If within that block there's no place that I can go with that color thread, then I just put it back on the holder and I move on to the next. So because I don't use gridded fabric, at least not yet, although I have purchased some and I do want to try using the gridded fabric with one of my full coverages, or maybe like a Haid or something like that. But because this is not gridded fabric, I don't trust myself enough to count more than like 10 to 20 stitches. And you all know how much I completely and totally dislike to frog. So better safe than sorry, and I just try to stick with what it says there. So the short answer is it's a mix. Okay, then I also had a comment from Miss Margaret, maybe 8656. She was nice enough to give me a translation to the piece that I was calling the French Witch. I don't have that one right here next to me because it's in the living room because I haven't stitched on that one just yet. But the piece that I called the French Witch, she actually translated for me. Obviously it's in French. So the real name for that is My Witch's Basket, which I would have never guessed because like the highlight of that piece was not the basket. So I don't know, but thank you so much for giving me that translation. I've written it down so I have the official name. Even if I do call it the French Witch from time to time, I will also call it My Witch's Basket. So that's great. Then I had a comment from Sue Gonzalez 6811. I just thought this was a really fun comment. So in my last video, I was talking about how I wanted to get something behind me, which I'm clearly still working on, that I can start putting some decorations up on, and that I needed to decorate our house for Halloween. So I have done a little bit of decorating, not in this room because no one's really in this room but me, typically. This is my home office when I get to work from home, and then my craft room. So it's really just me in here. But anyway, Sue, she said that she likes to put up a Halloween shower curtain, you know, other decorations too, I'm sure, but she does a Halloween shower curtain, which I thought was really fun. I was at Target recently and I saw that they had some, and I thought, what a super simple way to make the bathroom really festive, that you can just put it up and then take it down at the end. So I'm gonna try that. I like the idea of doing that for Halloween or Christmas. Some of those bigger holidays, I think that would be a great festive way. I know you could do like towels, but my bathroom towels are so well loved that I wouldn't want to do fun themed ones. But I could do a shower curtain. It's just as easy. So great idea on that one. And then what else do I have written here? Oh, I got a comment from the Pattern Queens. So the Pattern Queens, they're a channel that I watch on Flosstube relatively regularly. I don't have a lot of time to watch Flosstube these days, so there's a small handful that I catch pretty much every week or every other week, however often they film. But then there's another group, you know, that I do try to tune into anytime I have some free time, and the Pattern Queens are one of them. So when I saw that they left me a comment, you know, they just commented about the Dimensions Chickadees kit, you know, but just knowing that number one, they watch my channel, and number two, they left a comment, that's super fun. So, you know, it's always nice when you see, as a Flosstuber, other Flosstubers that you watch. For some reason, knowing that they're watching your channel is like, I call it fangirl, you know, when I see those comments pop up. So Pattern Queens, if you don't know who they are, I will link them in the description, but they're super fun. They stitch all kinds of good stuff. So go check them out. Okay. That is it for at least the few comments that I wrote down on my tiny little notebook here. So thank you for anyone who did leave a comment. I think I have replied to everyone's comment, but you know, on this video, if you have questions, comments, whatnot, just saying hello, definitely say hello, because that's the highlight for me of doing these videos. So, all right, let's get into some stitching. It's been 3-ish weeks, I think. Yes, last time I filmed, I was getting ready to go to Utah to go and visit family. So that was a couple weekends ago. So I've got a finish to show. I have my whips, a tiny little bit of haul, and yeah, the normal stuff. So we'll get right to it. All right, let's see. Not stitching chickadees yet, but it will happen next month. So to the pile it goes. All right, first up is I have a finish. Like I said, I did go to Utah a couple weekends ago, and when I travel, I like to bring either an ornament or some type of a Mill Hill perforated paper type piece. So you guys saw this before I left. Pull it out of the bag here. But I was stitching on Puppy Present by Satsuma Street, like this. These are really, really fun ornaments. I absolutely love these. I finished this while I was in Utah. Not only did I get the stitching done, but I got the back stitching and the beads. So it is not fully finished because I did not make it into an ornament yet, but it is beaded, which is the first one because I have like 3 or 4 that are not beaded. So we are here. I noticed when I was stitching this, I don't know what I did, but I did something kind of wonky in this nose where I was off, right? So there should have been a little row here above the nose and whatnot. So I kind of made his face a little bit different from what this one is, but that's okay. Either way, he's a happy, adorable puppy. So this is Puppy Present by Satsuma Street. And I will be finishing this one. I'm going to try my hand at making my own ornaments. I've watched some videos. It does not look super hard. The felt looks kind of easy-ish. I'm going to give it a whirl, and if it goes really south, then Tammy, I'll just mail the rest to you. But we're going to try it. We'll see. That is Puppy Present. I do have a couple more of these, like I mentioned, where I have all the cross stitching and back stitching done, but I have not done the beads. So you'll be seeing some more of these Satsuma Street ornaments in the near future as we get those ones wrapped up. All right, put this one back in the baggie here. Okay, next up, it's kind of a mix of haul and a whip. So I finished up that Satsuma Street ornament, and we were in Utah for Friday's hat, so like 3 days. I ended up finishing that one just because we had some flight delays and whatnot, so I had a lot more time to actually work on it. So while I was there, I picked up, no, I didn't pick them up. I brought them with me because I knew I was nearing a finish on that. So I had 2 other Mill Hill kits that I brought with me so that I could choose one of them to start while I was there. The reason why I had to choose is because they're very different and I wasn't exactly sure which way I wanted to go. So here were the choices. I had the Ghost family, which is Mill Hill's Buttons and Beads Autumn Series. This is very Halloween, very festive, super cute. Would have fit right in for October stitching, 100%. However, October stitching is just not my favorite thing in the world. And I also had this Buttons and Beads, the Winter series by Mill Hill called the Blue Jay. And it's a bird. And it's a really pretty bird. And it's wintry and Christmassy. And I have so much Halloween going on that I thought maybe I might want to stitch some Christmas, even though it's kind of cheating because I know I said I wanted to stitch on Halloween stuff given that it's October. So anyway, I brought both. I ended up flipping a coin. The coin flip told me I should be stitching on the Blue Jay, which was exciting. However, the only downside to Mill Hill, and Mill Hill, I don't know who does this, you probably don't watch this channel or care because we are all going to keep buying your kits, but the only downside to a Mill Hill kit is that you have to sort the floss yourself. And sometimes it is really hard to figure out what color is what, especially when you're traveling. So if I have a kit where there's a whole bunch of different colors, most of the time I just kit it myself with my own floss because I can't tell the difference between the different shades of cream, right? So that's kind of what happened here. So this is the list of floss colors. I was not expecting that from this. So I did sort them. I think I sorted them correctly, but what I did not bring was any type of, like I didn't bring any floss drops with me on the trip because the other pieces I normally bring are very simple. So I didn't have any floss drops, and trying to keep track of what color was what while traveling when there's that many, I didn't feel super comfortable. So I got a tiny little bit stitched. Okay, that didn't help. Let's try this again. There we go. I did a teeny tiny little bit just to show that I got it started, and then I put it away. I'll be putting the colors on the floss drops and getting that set up to where it can be more of a home project. But it probably won't be one that I take with me to travel with. So, but at least it did get started, and I did, you know, write it in my little notebook of new starts for the year. So, so that part was good. Okay, then, since that didn't work out, I moved on to the ghosts, thinking, look at all that white and gray, big blocks of color. There can't be all that many. Let's do that one instead. So I got to that. Just pull out these instructions here. Stand by. Okay. So it's a tiny little bit better, but like still nowhere near in the same ballpark as my Christmas ornaments that have like 4 colors, okay? Way different. Still, I sorted the colors. I don't know if I sorted, so there's like 3 shades of white in these ghosts. There's like a white, a creamy grayish white, and then there's like a really light gray. And then there's a darker gray. So I guess there's 4 different colors within this ghost. My eyes are not good enough to tell those apart, so I'm just gonna pull floss from my own stash to do that. And again, I didn't have floss drops, so that's okay. What I could figure out was the background color. So this one is being stitched on a piece of navy perforated paper, and the background is like navy colored floss. So you can't really see this all that well. You can kind of see it. But I did get this much stitching done on the airplane. So I've got the outline of a ghost started, and I got this here. Once I get my colors sorted and get it onto floss drops, this will be one that I can use for travel stitching, because even though there's a lot of colors, they're big blocks of colors. And once I know what's what, that won't be a big deal at all. So that is my start on Ghost Family. This will be the one that stays in my travel bag. So you guys will see this one pop up from time to time here in the near future. And I did a really strange job at cutting open this bag. Not sure what I did here, but it will reside in this bag, so shouldn't be an issue going forward. Put that there right now so I don't lose it. Okay, that was it for travel stitching. All right, then the other things that I worked on were for the magazine monthly challenge acrostic, as well as our pop-up challenge, which is actually happening this weekend. Well, actually it ended today, or it ends today in like an hour. But so it ends today. That pop-up event was Oh My Gourd. So for Oh My Gourd, this is one that we've had since the beginning of the magazine monthly cross stitch challenge, where you have to stitch for 5 hours or 500 stitches on a piece with a gourd. Now obviously a pumpkin is a gourd, so that is usually fairly easy to find because it's October, and there's a lot of Flosstubers out there that stitch pumpkins for the month of October. It's festive, all that stuff. Beyond pumpkins, obviously there's real gourds. One day I'm gonna find a really good pattern that has a full-on gourd, and I'm gonna stitch that, because pumpkins aren't my favorite thing. I'm just not big into October, but I don't mind them. So anyway, I got stitching done for that, as well as my acrostic, and that's what the rest of the stuff is. So, all right, first up is New Year in the Village by Alessandra Adelaide. Will one day look something like this. It's been around for a while. I'm stitching mine on a piece of 32 count Storm linen by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And this is being used on my acrostic for only 1 letter. So I'm using this for the letter A in the acrostic of Hayride. A for Alessandra or Adelaide. I have not finished my letter yet. So in my acrostic, I like to do 2 hours each. And I actually just pulled this one out a little bit before I decided. I looked at the time and was like, oh, I'm gonna film. I need to get to filming and I need to stop stitching. So I've done about only 45 minutes on this piece, and then this will go back up and I will continue this piece later on tonight. But I am, how to easily hold this up here. Okay, so I've got a rogue piece of floss here, but as you can see, I am starting in on this extremely bright orange. I actually had to look at the pattern to make sure I was doing this correctly, because I thought this purple against this orange is like way bright. It is correct, we're right in there. So I'm just starting in on this orange color here, and I finished up, I had a little bit in this house here that I had to finish up because I didn't have any more of this floss. So I pulled that from my stash and I filled in the rest of this house and then just started on this. Again, only like 45 minutes done today. I will keep this out for another hour and 15 minutes because it's going to get 2 hours total. So I'll take care of that tonight, which means I'll finish the house, right? Just kidding. I'll probably get through the rest of this orange and then the next color over. So we are nearing a finish on this. My goal on this piece is to have it done by New Year's of 2025. So New Year's Eve 2024, New Year's Day 2025. I started this many moons ago on New Year's, so it would be really nice to have that done by the end of this year. All I have left is this little pocket here. There's a lot of stitching in this pocket, but here, and then these ginormous, these two fireworks. These fireworks are a mix of DMC and some type of specialty floss. I think that I ended up pulling the DMC light effects instead of Krynic. I'm pretty sure I did. And there's also some beads. So you can see these little dots here. I pulled beads for these. I don't know if the pattern calls for beads or French knots, but I bought beads. So that's what we're using. That's what we have to work on. That's as far as I've gotten. This piece is going to be my 25/7 piece next month, so it will stay out the whole month of November. We'll see how far I get, and then it's going to be a big focus piece in December because, again, I want to get it done by December 31st. Yes. Okay. Next up. Next up is my theme piece for the Magazine Monthly Challenge. So typically I use a magazine piece for the theme. This is probably the first month, maybe the second month this year that I did not do a magazine piece. Our theme this month is Pumpkin Patch. And again, pumpkins, right? I don't have that many pumpkins going on. I didn't want to start another one, but I did pick up a piece when I was at Stitching in the Wild. And so I knew it has a giant pumpkin on it, so it's perfect for that theme. It is also the piece that I use for Oh My Gourd. So I have done 5 hours of stitching on Oh My Gourd. I have done 5 hours of stitching on, what is this called? On Ghost Pumpkin. And I did those 5 hours for Oh My Gourd, which means I still have 4 more hours to go on this piece. So was. Here we go. Okay. Got my notes on what I'm stitching it on here next to me. So, all right, this is Ghost Pumpkin. Again, this is a exclusive piece that was purchased at Stitching in the Wild. You can purchase this piece or this pattern, at least you could last time I looked, on the Garan Stitchery website. I don't think you can get it anywhere else since it was an exclusive for their retreat, but it looks like this. It is super cute and it is a really fast stitch. I'm stitching this on the called for everything because I got the fabric and the DMC floss at Stitching in the Wild. So this is on a piece of 32 count Confederate gray linen by, I wrote Weeks Dye Works, so hopefully that's right. But I'm confident on the color and the count, and then it's a called for DMC. So last time you guys saw this, I had, you don't want to see the pattern, you want to see the stitches. Okay, here we are. I am this far. So last time you guys saw this, I had like 95% of the border done. If you remember, I had a little chunk here that was not complete in the border because I didn't have any more of this color within arm's distance. So I just waited on that. So I got that finished, and hallelujah, everything matched up. So that brought me a lot of joy. So that was good. And then I had just a tiny little bit of this hat done the last time you saw it. So obviously in that 5 hours of stitching, I finished all the rest of the hat. I got the flower stitched in there, and then there's a little row of like a cream color, which is going to be the same color as the pumpkin. So I wasn't really sure how I was going to feel about that cream color on this color linen, but if you can see this here, it really pops. I know that in this case it's against the green and the taupey brown, but I think even on this linen on its own, it's going to be really beautiful. So as much as I don't love stitching in a really light color, it's going to be gorgeous. So love it so far. That is Ghost Pumpkin. So I am not going to be stitching the year, and I'm going to find some charms. In fact, it's funny, I just watched Carolyn's video, Seasick Stitch, and she talked about how she's making this her new 25/7 piece, and she just finished her last 25/7 piece. And she said she's also not doing the year, and she's going to do charms. So I don't know if our charms are going to match, but we have the same idea in that. So that will be really fun. This again will stay out over this next week. The goal will be to get 4 hours of stitching done on it. So I'm probably going to start in on the eyes next, maybe do these colors, see how far I can get in just this pumpkin here, and then I will probably come in and do the outline after that. When I have like white or really light color, if I can, I try to stitch that last, just because I don't like to get it dingy, and sometimes it takes me so long to finish a project, and the less time I can have with those white stitches done, the better in my book. So that is Ghost Pumpkin. I will say, like, out of all the pumpkin pieces that I have, that's probably my favorite so far, and I think it's because of that really light color pumpkin. So if I do another one for next year, it's probably going to be something similar with like a light or bright colored pumpkin to it. I think it's the shade of orange, like the burnt orange color, that just, it does not bring me joy. I like bright orange, but the burnt orange, I don't know, it's not my favorite. So, okay. Next up is a piece of haul / a new start, and it's very small, and I don't have the cover photo. So I'll just have to describe it and use your imagination. So what happened here is we were running errands recently, just this last week, and I forgot my travel piece. Some of these errands required us, we had some doctor visits and things like that, where I knew I was going to be waiting for, you know, an hour or two at a time. And now that I'm not in school anymore, hallelujah, and I really try hard not to work on my weekends and after the workday is over, just because, you know, my work days are usually 12 hours or so as it is. So I'm trying to limit the amount of extra stuff. So I was like, I really want to stitch. I didn't have anything to stitch. So we dropped into, I think we went to Michael's, and I picked up something really simple to do while I was out and about. We ended up not doing as many of those errands as we thought, but that's okay. At least I have a new piece, and I got it started a little bit. So what I picked up, it's by Loops and Threads, and it's called Watercolor Trees. So these are the colors. Here we go, that's pretty good. So you can see it's a mix of light blues, greens, creams, there's a little bit of brown in there. Oh, look. If I went this way, you could actually see these are the colors. So really pretty. They have it as a hoop finish, and it's on probably a 14 count Aida, just a plain white Aida. So I just started it, but these are the watercolor trees. So the way this will look, and I apologize, I just don't have the little front picture. I don't know. But it has full cross stitches here. So there's a lot of trees in this like blue-gray color, and then there's some in like a light gray color here, kind of like a silvery color. And you have like all the trees that will go across this way. And then the background are just half stitches in some of the other colors. So it gives you like a nice, like almost a dimensions effect, except it's not full coverage at all. It's a fairly simple kit, which is why I got it. But it'll end up being a nice little row of trees with some dimension, you know, a mix of full cross and half cross. So I have no idea what I will do with it when it's done, but I'm gonna keep it out I don't know if it's going to be a travel piece or when I'm going to keep working on it, but it's something that I can easily grab. It's a very small piece, and you know, there's not a whole lot of color changes going on. So once I get the first couple of trees, it should be fairly simple to kind of work on, maybe on Zoom calls, like the Magazine Monthly Challenge Zoom calls. It's a great idea I just had. I would work on this during those Zoom calls because it's fairly easy to stitch on this fabric. One thing I will note, if you do happen to go and pick up one of these loops and threads kits, the Aida is fine. I mean, it's stiff, but it's kit white Aida, right? That's just the way that is. The hoop is nice. However, the needle that they provided is ginormous compared to the count of the Aida. So it was honestly really difficult whenever I was stitching to get this needle through the hole. Like, I don't know what size this is, but it's very large. So that slowed me down quite a bit. I'll be not using this anymore moving forward, but I mean, at the time, like, it is what it is. So put that back. This feels more like the needle you would use on like a 10 or maybe a 12 count and not a 14. Or wait, a 10 count and not a 12 count. There we go. So, but that was a new start, and you will see it again if you are on our Magazine Monthly Challenge Zoom calls. And if you are not, then you will see it on my next video. All right, next up is my 25/7 piece, which, to be honest, I've been horrible about getting my 25 stitches in a night, but it is what it is. So I have done 10. Okay, this has received 12 nights worth of stitching, and again, today is the 20th. So I missed like 8 days, but still progress was made. So I'm using Funky Bird for 25/7. See if I can get this out of my Garan bag here. Okay. All right, this is Funky Bird by Barbara Anna Designs. I love this piece because obviously it's got a funky bird. It's my type of a sampler. It's got letters, so it counts as a sampler, and it's fairly simple. And I really enjoyed the colors that she pulled. It was just really different from the norm, right? Hence the name Funky Bird. So when I kitted this up, I didn't have a lot of the floss that was called for here, and I did a stitch from stash on this one. So I tried to pull the same colors or similar colors, and I will completely say that the colors I chose, I don't think I love them as much as these ones, but this is something I kitted up a really long time ago, and we're gonna continue because I still like it, but I will say, Barbara Anna, you did a better job than I did in choosing these colors. So here is where we are. We are here. I picked up in my most recent Garan order, I got the color, actually I have it right here, black coffee, because I ran out, so I need to finish this guy's head here. But essentially all I have left is to fill in the head and then all of the letters. That's about it. So we've got a head, and he's got some little funky hair going on, and then all these letters. With my 25/7, I filled in all of these wings. I got the light yellow color here done within the head, and I think that's about it. So kind of a lot of stitching in those little sections, but I really like it so far, and I'm excited to get it finished up. This will definitely end up on the wall because every single bird wall needs a funky bird. That is true. So as you can see, my colors are a little bit different. Specifically right here, I kind of wish that these popped a little bit more. They show up really well with the lighting here. I mean, they show up about the same in real life, but I really like how in this, how they're more of like a brown on a dark blue, versus on here, it looks more of like a gray on a blue, maybe. But again, I still love it. I'm excited to get it finished, and I'm excited to get it up on the bird wall. I don't know that I will get it done by the end of the month. If I can work on it for 25 minutes every night, if I make that a priority, there's a chance, right? I just have, now, if you know me, you know I'm really terrible at figuring out how long stuff will take me. One day I'll time myself, I don't know. But I really just have the rest of this head and some letters. It's doable, maybe, we'll see. Okay. Man, I worked on a lot of projects these last couple weeks. My pile is still here, so, okay, this might be the last one that I worked on. So, all right, last up was Witch's Hearth by Fox and Rabbit. This is another one that I picked up during the Garan Stitchery Stitching in the Wild retreat, so it is an exclusive to their shop. I do think it's still for sale, and it's a great piece, but I picked it up there and I started it when I got home. So Witch's Hearth I'm using for the H and the R in the acrostic hayride. So I'm using it for letter H for Witch's Hearth, letter R for Fox and Rabbit because it's a Fox and Rabbit design. And so that means this piece got 4 hours of work put into it. So one day it will look like this. And it should look something similar to this because I'm doing it on the called for fabric with all the called for colors. It's stitched in DMC and it is on a piece of 32 count Duxbury linen by Fox and Rabbit. And we are standing by here. So last time you guys saw this, I had this tiny little black bird and I had the black outline or the black part of this lantern complete. In 4 hours, we got the lantern filled in, the witch's arm and the little circle here, and then a really creepy crawly, like, her face looks really creepy because it's missing an eyeball and it's like the strange outline. There's no like hat or anything like up here. So she's kind of creepy. I also started filling in the top of her dress. So on this dress, it's gonna be beautiful when it's done, but the bottom is gonna be a lot of stitching and a lot of counting. But this top piece here, which is where the buttons are, I think instead of using floss to do this, I might use some seed beads. I'm not sure what color. I just think it would be really pretty to put some little seed beads in for the buttons up top. So I'm gonna leave those till the end and then see how I feel. But we are here. This kind of looks like it's another row of buttons. It's not. I like to I don't like to stitch in a row because for some reason when I start in with the next row, sometimes my eyes pick up on where I ended on one and then started the next. So I just like to do a little bit of a zigzag if there's a big block of color, especially if that color is black. And trying to see what this line is. I had a moment where I started thinking I carried a really giant piece of thread. I didn't, it's just the way that the fabric looks. I was like, what on earth did I do back here? So anyway, and just for the record, I have 0 problems carrying thread. I do it more than I probably should, except if I'm stitching something on linen especially, I can usually see through it, so then I can't be lazy and I can't carry my thread. So that is Fox and Rabbit. This is not on my acrostic anymore, so this one will go away. I don't know when I'm gonna work on it again. We'll see if I end up pulling it for any type of, challenges or something like that. I haven't planned out the month of November that far, short of 1 or 2 pieces. So I don't know if she's gonna stay out or not, but if not, you'll see her next year. Okay, I just have a tiny bit of haul and then I guess maybe a little bit of plans. So wrapping up here. For my haul, I am part of the Garan Stitchery Fabric of the Month Club. specifically because I know they have a couple, but I'm the one part of the one that Fabrics by Stephanie is part of, because I just love her fabric. So if you are part of that fabric of the month and you have not gotten your fabric, then don't look, because I think I just got this out of the mail today or yesterday. So I get a piece of 32 count linen, and this month it was from Fabrics by Stephanie, and the color is Tropical, and it is gorgeous. It's getting dark here, so my lighting's a little wonky right now, but check this out. It is tropical. I love me some yellow. I love me some bright orange. No idea what I'm gonna stitch on this, but it's beautiful. So I'll figure something out. Not a pumpkin. Okay. So we got that in the mail. Then I went to Spirit Halloween with my daughter, because even though I'm not huge into Halloween, she is. So we went to Spirit Halloween, and while I was there, the only thing that I really picked up was this super cute Gremlins pin set. Now the reason I'm showing this here is because just like, I have them both here because we're going to work on it this week, just like my Bucky's pin, I'm going to have my husband help me, and we're going to take off the backs, right, and turn these enamel pins into needle minders. So this one here is really large, so I intend to put a large magnet on the back so it can hold a set of scissors. This one is a normal size. I love it. And this Gremlins one, I'm probably not going to turn into a needle minder. I just think it's cute. So I might use it for maybe a cross stitch piece, or maybe put it on a Halloween bag, something like that. But it is way cute, and I just saw it and decided I needed them for needle minders in my life. So that is those. Then, because I finished, not just because of that, just because I liked it, but I did have a finish in that cross stitch ornament. So I did do a little tiny bit of shopping on Amazon, and I picked up Cross Stitch in the Forest by Max Pigeon. I'm sure you all have seen this book. It is all over the place, but I loved it. I've already gone through it. I have not marked my favorites yet. In a future video, I'll probably do that just to show some of my favorite pieces from this book. But there's quite a few in here that I cannot wait to stitch. I love the blocks of color. I love the geometric type design. It's kind of Satsuma Street without being super bright, more nature-based, which I'm all about. So I love this book. Great, great purchase. And then on the Garan site, I went on because I had to pick up a couple of flosses that I was missing for I Love My Cat by Dirty Annie, which I'm starting this week. And obviously I needed black coffee to finish Funky Bird, so I got that picked up. And then I picked up the E Pluribus Unum. I'm probably butchering that, but I got this chart. I actually think I picked this up before, but I had them kit up the floss that went with it. So I need to get this one here all put together for a future start. I would like to start this one on New Year's. Sorry for the glare, but this will probably be my New Year, new start. So that's it for haul. Okay, plans. So I have to finish the New Year in the Village. I have an hour and 15 minutes left on that. And then I'm starting I Love My Cat by Dirty Annie, which if you don't know which one that is a piece that says I love my cat, but it's actually a possum. So I'll be stitching that for my husband because he found it hilarious. So I'm starting that up. It'll get 4 hours because it's on my acrostic twice for the letter I in Hayride for I Love My Cat, and the letter D for Dirty Annie. So we'll be working on that one. And then Funky Bird will continue to get some progress, and I have 4 hours on Ghost Pumpkin. So that should be about all you all see when I check in next week, short of maybe some travel stitching. We'll see. Okay, Hopefully everybody is well, and again, feel free to leave a comment, feel free to say hello, and I will talk to you all next week-ish. Happy stitching.